Hello, my name is Max Flyman, and welcome to the 5th devlog of my game, Genocidal Dopamine. If you haven't seen the first few devlogs, then I'd recommend you go watch them. Anyway, in this episode, I will finally add player health, but before that, I need to fix Skellica's animations. So, for the longest time, the hit animation was just a looping animation when you get too close. But this really sucked, because I couldn't make the actual damage script link up with the animation. So I basically fully reworked Skellica's animation system and set it up so there's a hit trigger that I can call from my code. Now that I fixed that issue, I already had a health variable in my player script, however it wasn't being used whatsoever. The first thing I did was add a slider to my UI and stylize it. After that it looked alright, however something I see in many games is another health indicator behind the main one that is smoothed. So after adding that it looked pretty good. I also wanted an indicator you were being hit, so I made this blood overlay spray and made it pulse on the screen when you're hit. After that, the system was really coming together. Now I needed to work on a death screen. But first I needed to figure out how to pause my game when you die. You see, in Godot, it was extremely easy to make a game pause and have only some stuff affected by it, such as UI. But in Unity, the way you pause a game is by setting the global timescale variable to 0. But not everything relies on this variable, so I basically had to make all of my code, except for my death screen code of course, rely on timescale to fully pause. That was kind of a hassle. Although after fixing that issue, I was ready to work on the death screen. I had the idea to have blood splat onto the screen when you die, and so I made the splat spray grow from the middle of the screen, as well as have this drip image stretch across the y-axis as if falling from the top. I then added this blinking text, and I think it looks pretty good. I also made the R key restart the scene so you can restart. However, after adding this, I found another issue, which we'll talk about in the next devlog. I know this was a very short devlog, but I wanted this to be a one video thing because it seemed big enough to take up a whole video. Anyway, if you want to stay updated on the progress, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next devlog where I fix that issue. Goodbye.